Alright, everyone. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. This game is actually really fun. Came out in 2006, and I just had a blast playing through it again like I did back in high school. Some things about the development: it was actually developed by Raven Software, the people responsible for Hexen, Jedi Knight 2, X-Men Legends, and the successful Call of Duty games. If you don't remember Hexen, it was a really popular kind of M-rated PC game. I think it also came out on N64. It was super fun. I actually had to play it when my parents were around because I got a hold of it when I was very young. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old. This game actually, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, came out on Xbox, PS2, Windows, Game Boy Advance, PSP, Wii, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. You guys should actually check out. I'll put some screenshots in the Game Boy Advance version, just because it's kind of like not the same game at all. It's just a side-scrolling beat 'em up, like I don't know, the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It actually still looks good, but I heard they kind of stripped some of the more RPG elements. Like it's not fully there. I haven't played it, so I don't know. I haven't even seen anybody review it. It'd be kind of interesting to play, but I think if you really want the full experience, oh my God, mittens! Uh, you should actually check out the Xbox 360, or if you're lucky enough, purchase the PC version. I'll tell you a little bit why you should purchase the PC version. But anyway, this is basically Marvel's version of an action role-playing game like Baldur's Gate. It's an isometric camera, which some of you may be familiar with if you played like Divinity. What else has them? Diablo 2, StarCraft. It's set over the head, kind of looking down on the player. Um, Anyway, it's an action-oriented RPG in the Marvel Universe. Ugh. Some of the combinations you have are light attack, heavy attack, jump, fly, block, roll, and you have 4 skills that you can act. Oh, sorry, I just farted. God damn it! I'm gonna cut this out. Anyway, sorry. Light attack, heavy attack, jump, fly, block, roll, and 4 skills that you can take advantage of. Some of the progression allows you to increase stats, skills, equip gear, and increase how effective your team works together. You can increase stats like body, striking, and focus. As far as like more in-depth stuff like strength, vitality, dexterity, I didn't see anything like that present when I played through it. Um, you can actually equip gear. It's kind of a light version of like it's not like a full like gauntlets, bracers, armor, amulet, helmet. It's really just one item that you equip, and it'll give you bonuses that are stuff like increase experience gained, increase gold reward, make your throws do more damage, make a special skill do more damage, add +2 to body striking, focus, just stuff like that. It's actually really enjoyable, and I kind of like that they didn't egghead it, because sometimes when they egghead it, I actually get wrapped up in just customizing my guide, which is I'm having fun the entire time, but sometimes it becomes just like 45 minutes of figuring out my build, optimizing it, what kind of gear I should get, especially on my second playthrough when I really want to hammer it out. And then, yeah, I ended up just never beating the game and getting overwhelmed. I think, what's an example of that? Yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur. I think that's how you say it. That's a really good example of that. I love that game so much. I never finished it because I played it, and tried to get really nerdy with it in every aspect, and it just takes too much of your time. And then, like, for some reason, when you're playing a game, you just you have like a certain amount of fun with it, and that's like certain hours of gameplay, and then at some point you will become bored with it. And for this game, it's pretty light. You can't really egghead it, and you have more fun just going through the cutscenes and exploring the comic universe and the narrative, in my opinion. Um, anyway, you go on missions, complete side missions, find secret rooms for additional skill points, money, gear, artwork, comic missions, and more. And there's plenty of artwork and comic missions. I am Really sorry that I never did any of those. I did one by accident when I was co-oping it with my girlfriend, and it actually wasn't co-op, which was kind of annoying. So she had to sit there and just watch me play through a mission. So I was like, I'm never gonna do it if she's gonna continue, because I don't want to force anybody to watch me do a comic mission. Um, some things you might enjoy about the gameplay: you might actually enjoy the dated cutscenes, and you'll actually take a step back and see what technology was available in 2006. The graphics were just terrible. The shadows weren't great. But it's kind of really crazy, because I remember when Xbox 360 launched, not thinking the graphics were terrible, and they were so realistic, and I have no idea what the next step is. And it seems now that the steps are more incremental rather than the huge leaps forward that we got between Xbox and Xbox 360. But it's still kind of enjoyable, and I don't think we need photorealistic graphics really for a comic book game. It's completely fine, cel shaded. Anyway, so in the gameplay, you'll also have like a BioWare-esque conclusion where the decisions made in game will kind of affect the narrative and dialogue options for the player to select from. So you'll actually impact the universe, and then the choices you made in certain events will be wrapped up once you complete the game. It's really cool, and kind of like a homage to, not really even a homage, because it came out around the same time, but Knights of the Old Republic kind of had that. Anyway, yeah, that's gameplay. Some interesting facts about the game. Due to the license expiration, it was removed from Steam, and the DLC is currently no longer available. So actually the only way to even play all those bonus characters that are kind of grayed out that you'll see in the game are to actually buy the gold edition of the game, which has all that DLC on the disc. And this is kind of a reason why I am not a fan of DLC, because when you get that next generation console, you don't know how well it's going to translate. Or even like I guess if you already purchased it while it was out, you're probably fine as long as you don't have to re-download it on Xbox 360. But for somebody like me, I actually bought an Xbox 360 and went back and played it. And it's not available. I can't really have that full experience that I did or could have when we played it way back when I was in high school in my friend's basement. Especially, I don't know, because there were some good characters in there. But yeah, they won several awards on the PS3, and they actually got the best use of a creative license. Like I said, unfortunately that got revoked. So you can really now only play with the base characters, which is still a lot. And you get Deadpool, which is who I played with the entire time, and Deadpool was awesome. They had a GameCube version, which they were worked on, which would later be canceled, and I kind of suspect that this was probably because of hardware limitations. Although, if I'm playing devil's advocate with myself, the Game Boy Advance version is there, but they castrated it down to a side-scrolling action-adventure, and I suppose they wanted to have the full version on the GameCube, although I think if it would have came out, one of the reasons probably why they canceled is probably it would have looked like Borderlands 2 on PS Vita, and this is actually the second time in a video I've referenced this game, but that game is like, it's a bastard child. It should never have existed at all. It's terrible. Bodies just disappear when you kill them. There's no blood. Textures are gone. Frames still dip below 10 to 15 FPS. I don't know what they were thinking when testing the game or reviewing it. Although I figured that this game probably saw that on the GameCube, and they decided that they couldn't get it to a playable version. Yeah, I'll include some photos of the GBA just so you guys can see what the GBA version of the game looked like. It actually kind of looks like an old arcade beat 'em up, and kind of looks like it would be okay to play. As far as sound, it was actually composed by the same person responsible for KOTOR and KOTOR 2's sound. I'll actually try to play a track of it in the background as I'm talking about this review so that everybody can kind of hear it. And then I don't know if I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'll just increase the volume and just let you guys watch some gameplay. Other than the music, the voice acting is another thing I wanted to touch on. It's genuinely pretty bad. You can kind of tell it's just old, and I think the industry didn't really have the level of voice acting talent that the movie and TV industry had. Although I think Metal Gear Solid is a special case. Metal Gear Solid had talented voice acting even on the original PlayStation, but I don't think they had the talent, or maybe they even lacked the funding. Maybe everybody was booked up, but I can play some clips right here.
What will happen if the tears are left unchecked?
We know what's riding on this. We won't fail.
I know you won't.
Once again, luck has been on your side, for that could be the only reason you have survived this long. But my latest creations will finally put an end to it. Who better to serve as my personal guards than recreations?
Don't talk that way about our Lord and Master. Dr. Doom.
Now you will kneel before Victor.
And you will pledge.
And if you don't, we'll come.
And you guys can kind of tell, it doesn't sound great. It kind of sounds corny. Hopefully I found a good enough clip. I'm trying not to put too much time into this review, but yeah. Anyway, some other things is you'll hear like repetitive noises from the fighting. I kind of wish they had like a repetitive, like a little bit more sound variety when you're going through action and stuff, but it just kind of bores your ears a little bit. Especially, I don't know if it came through on the old TVs, but I played this on a more modern TV, and the sound just sounded like it was coming from an old speaker. Now, I'm not a sound expert, so I don't really know why that is, but it really is. It's something I ran into with older consoles too. It could be, I don't know, the bit rate or something, but it just sounds like it's coming through an old speaker. Yeah, anyway, what I really would have liked to see is better voice acting. Now, I know I said earlier I kind of like the fact that they didn't do more gear, but I would have liked to see like maybe a second or third piece of armor equipped. You don't have to do like 6 slots for armor, but like maybe like a weapon, a chest piece, and a helm or some boots. Just because some of those bonuses I really wanted to combine on the armor, and I thought that it would be amazing to have the opportunity to combine, especially if you're playing it single player and trying to get through like the hardest difficulty. It would be a lot of fun to make gear combinations that'll give you more bonuses and help your build out. A faster menu, it would have been really awesome. It takes you 2 buttons to get to the character select screen, and like when you hit pause, there's like a 1.5 second delay that was really annoying to see over and over again. Another thing I would have liked, I bought the Xbox 360 version and the PS3 version for the sequel. But I really wish the PC version was still available. I'm sure you can get it on probably some of the gray markets. You could probably purchase a key on eBay or something like that. But there are some fantastic mods for this game. Now, you can actually change the entire character roster so that it's DC Comic heroes. I saw gameplay of a very nice guy. I'll plug him in. He has no idea who I am. So if people came over and said who I was and they learned about them from my video, I would kind of laugh, and he'd probably be like, oh, this guy with 10 views on YouTube actually sent people to my video. But anyway, he made a video with the Flash, and he's playing through some of the levels. You guys should check it out. If you're thinking about playing this game, just check out the PC version, look at the mods and see the potential. I'm sure there's some that'll increase the graphics and maybe allow you to use like the better hardware you inevitably have in your modern PC, so that you can get better frame rates. Because in my Xbox 360 version, the frames dipped pretty significantly in some action areas, which is another reason, which is a reason why they probably never released a GameCube version. I really wish they would have kept that creative license for the DLC. It's really disappointing that I couldn't play more. I probably would have even played the game all the way through the campaign again, just so I can play Moon Knight or somebody that's not available. Co-op comic missions. I was kind of disappointed when I loaded a comic mission and it was only solo, and my girlfriend couldn't play with me anymore. It's really boring. But luckily, she's pretty good at pulling her iPhone out and keeping herself entertained. More creative boss fights. They were in the beginning. They were pretty easy to figure out. Some of them, like, I couldn't figure out until I died like 3 or 4 times. But it was kind of boring. Most of them were just hit this sequence of buttons and through this cutscene, and you'll take a quarter of the boss's health. I would have liked to see something more, I don't know. I wish it could be Ninja Gaiden-esque or God of War 3-esque. I really liked God of War 3, their boss fights. Even Metal Gear. Metal Gear could have been fun, where there's like a sequence of moves and you kind of memorize the pattern. Yeah, those are just some of the... and a remake. Let's see a remake. I'd love to see somebody... I know they have the third one coming out on Nintendo Switch. Let's see somebody, or whoever that studio is making it for the Switch, just remake them, the original ones. Hopefully it's not like Final Fantasy VII, or the Final Fantasy series, where you have like the source code is not even saved anymore, and you have to go through leaps just to try to re-release it. Oh yeah. Overall, for my conclusion of this, just me talking about Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Great couch co-op. Enjoy it with a friend. Get some beer. Try to get 4 people together and play through it. I think you'll have a lot of fun. You won't be able to put it down. Get some pizza too. Have a lot of fun with it. It's really fun. You can pick it up and finish it. And if you make a day out of it, you could probably finish it in 2 days. You could finish, if you're dedicated, you could finish the whole thing in 1 day if you wanted to. As long as you don't have that slow player that is always trying to keep up with everybody else. Or it's like herding cats, and everybody else just wants to look around. The game probably won't resonate with people under 15. I think me going back on it, the only real reason I wanted to play it again was because of nostalgia. I can actually say that it still is a fun game without nostalgia, but it's really the newer games just have better technology, and the third one's coming out, and the third one's going to blow the other 2 out of the water. I think there will be a hardcore audience that probably will go back and play the old ones just for the story. Like I've never said this before, sorry, but the second one actually has Marvel Civil War in it. If they didn't make a movie of it, that was like the only way to experience a different medium other than reading the comics. But otherwise, I'd probably just recommend watching the movie if you really just want to experience the storyline and get it done and digested in as quick as possible. This game has great replayability and RPG elements for any comic book fan. I'd give this, if I had to give it a score, it'd be an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna be doing videos. I'm gonna try to do them once a week. Maybe I'll forget. I don't know. I have a whole written review with a little bit more detail. It's probably better than listening to my terrible voice. Also, if you're trying to read this review at night, maybe I would go check that out. I have other stuff there. I made a travel video of when I went to Southeast Asia. I have several categories in there that I had no idea what I was going to do with my website. I might put content like beer making, accounting, and database management on there. The only reason I probably won't do accounting or database management is I hate accounting. I currently do it. Oh my god. It's very obnoxious. And then for database, I don't remember that much. And I don't work in database management. I could talk about SQL Server. I might set up a SQL Server just to keep track of my games and run queries quickly if I'm ever out shopping. But other than that, I think people could probably get better content from content that's actually already out there. Unless for some reason you really wanted to follow me and have me talk about it, which I wouldn't even be the most qualified person. And that goes for accounting too. So anyway, you should check it out. I want to do movies, Netflix, beer making. I'd love to do beer reviews too. Maybe I'll do that. Anyway, have a good one. I'm filming this before I go to work, so I'm gonna go to work now.